Irene Vincent, and I would like to share with you today a vision I had of merging with the universe. This painting, Divine Ecstasy, is the finished painting to commemorate my vision. And I want to talk to you a little bit about visions. I had this vision naturally, and I would like to encourage people on their spiritual path to do the work, the preparation, and some of the aspects of how to obtain a vision that becomes part of your beingness. I met my teacher, Swami-Vishnudevanand of Allahabad, India, 1986, and he started staying with me 3 weeks at the beginning of summer and at the end of summer. One of the first things Swami said to me was, if you wish to have an experience of enlightenment with your whole heart and soul, you do practices with your whole heart and soul to reach that point of enlightenment. And at that point I thought, whoa, I thought only a few special people somehow had any experience even close to that. I figured, well, if Guruji said it, there must be something to it. I just wanted to basically be a happy human being, and I saw how the energy just flowed through Guruji. Whenever he was around, I was so filled with peace, bliss, joy, that I thought for a being to exist here on earth that is so comforting to other people and other humans, that has to be the greatest gift you can give to another human. And how could I even get partially there to maintain clarity of mind, peace of mind, and to emanate love to other beings. I was also connected to the shamanistic world. I love Mother Nature, Mother Earth, all the creatures on the earth. I had studied dreams for quite a while, so I was connected to dream time. So in many ways, I don't really connect with beliefs and dogma. I connect with universal love. It's easy to love all spiritual beings on their path. I honor all spiritual beings on their path. And we're all spiritual beings. It's just a matter of realizing that we're spirit in a human body. So anyways, a few days before I was leaving for my trip with my lady friend Vera, she is 20 years older, and I considered her my shaman mentor. Guruji came early that year. I didn't want to leave him, but we had already planned our trip. So I told Guruji I was going off to Canyon du Chelly and Chaco Canyon, to the native Indian ruins that I really also connected to the native Indians, and I wanted to have a vision. And Guruji just slaps me on my back, you know, may you be blessed, Irene, and of course all this energy goes through my body. So Vera and I leave for our trip. We're in the car, we're finally on the road, and I said, Vera, you know, for me, this is a vision quest. I'm not really good about like the native Indian part of being out alone, sometimes nude in nature, and 3 days alone and like just with water, and to have a vision, but I have the intent of having a vision. And so Vera said she had the same intent, and this was a vision quest for her. And she brought a bunch of crystals, and we can set them up and do this huge ritual when we get to Chaco Canyon. We're on our way, and we stop wherever there's nature. It took maybe 2.5, 3 days to get to Canyon du Chelly, because we'd go hiking and chanting and praying, and we'd take our crystals with us. We were already preparing ourselves, tuning ourselves in being in the beauty of nature and everything. We finally make it to Canyon de-Chelly, and we go for a hike, and it's just so beautiful. And then the next day we went on a shake and bake tour. Well, we get to the tour, and the first bus is filling up, and it looks so crowded. Well, it's actually the back of a truck is filling up. It's got seats back there. I kind of got concerned we might not get to go, but I had my crystal with me. I had these beautiful feathers that I bought on the way, and I threaded them together. They were black blue with these orange hearts in them. They were just magical. I took them on all my sacred journeys after that particular journey. So we're there, and I'm like, oh wow, you know. I told Vera, well, let's hold back a little bit. And then the man said, well, the bus is full, but I got good news. Another one is coming for the rest of you. We waited, and there were 7 of us. The back is quite large. It was big enough for at least 20 or more. We had plenty of space to move around, and I'm holding my crystal and chanting really softly, hoping nobody can hear, but I could build up that vibration in my body. And the truck is, you know, bumping along and soaring through, and the mountainsides are just, it's like paint dripped down the mountains. It was just so magical and beautiful and carved. I soon felt like I was like this eagle just soaring along on the bus. And then the big Native Indian driving the bus, grandfather Indian, he would stop every so often and then tell us stories. And I was just loving the mountains so much. And he said, young lady, if you don't listen, I'm not going to tell these stories again. And I go, I promise I won't ask you to repeat anything. But, you know, I'm listening to all your stories. I just am so appreciative of Mother Earth. He looked at me kind of weird. We get to this place called Spider Rock. When we're getting off the back of the truck, it's kind of like pretty steep, the steps. And I was the last one off, and grandfather, Native Indian, holds out his arms like this, and I just jump in his arms, and it's like grandfather is blessing me and hugging me. We look up, it's Spider Rock is these 2 towering, kind of monolithic steeples, rocks, just going straight up. And I look at my crystal, and it's the mirror image. My crystal was from Brazil, and it had these 2 tall, like, rocks embedded inside of it naturally, and it was like the mirror image of Spider Rock, and I was so amazed. And then Vera, she had a dream about Spider Woman and the universe and the webbing in the universe and how everything's interconnected before we left on our trip. And we didn't even know a Spider Rock existed, but we're standing there like just so amazed. Finally, you know, we enjoyed the whole tour, and then we made it back to the room, and I said, Vera, let's go hiking tomorrow, go back to Spider Rock, because there's something special there for us. It turned out we needed a Navajo guide, so we went to the center early the next morning and asked if we could possibly get a Navajo guide. I asked for someone with a spiritual nature, and she goes, oh, David. Yes, let me call and see if he's available. And then she says, well, come back in an hour. David said he'll be here for you. So we went hiking with David, and Vera and I are both chanting and just merging ourselves. I'm chanting Om Mani Padme Hum and some of the other chants that I love. And pretty soon it was like the bugs were chanting, even the distant sound of vehicles were oming. Everything was oming. The beauty of the ancient vibrations of the chants is it creates that vibration in your body, and it's just a beautiful thing. So we're on the hike. At one point, Vera, she wore shorts and a little shirt. I totally covered up because I didn't want poison oak. I didn't want, bug bites. And But then all these little black bugs and things were attacking her. And I said to David, my Guruji says wherever you're attacked by a bug or you get injured in nature, the healing is within 50 feet, the healing herb. And David looked at me strangely, and then he looked around, and he walked over, he pulled up some grass, and he rubbed it together and told Vera to rub it all over her legs and pull up more if she needed it. I was just amazed, you know. I mean, Guruji said this to me, and I always hold thoughts in suspension. Swami Radha taught me that one, and that's also what you would call an open mind. You don't know, you know, you don't say yes, you don't say no, you just like hold that thought until you get some kind of verification, and that was the verification that Guruji's theory held up. He said even if you got a snake bite, there was something to heal you from that snake bite within 50 feet. I found that truly amazing. And we hiked a long ways. David said we hiked like 15 miles. We did get to Spider Rock. We couldn't climb into it or anything. We could only get a certain distance from it. It's very sacred. Vera and I kind of separated a little bit, and David, and we said our prayers, and then I invoked the light, and then we had some lunch, and then we had to climb this upward after we're already so exhausted. We finally get to the top, and David takes us, says, well, your hotel's about 5 miles back that way. And Vera and I are like, oh my God, you know, we can barely walk. And I said, David, is there a Navajo with a truck nearby that we can pay to take us back? And he's looking around and goes, yeah, not too far. We just sat on the ground, and he shows up with a man in his truck, and we're just so happy. And then we go back to eat, and David said his church the next night would be doing a peyote ceremony, and we were welcome to come if we like. And I told him, I said, David, I'm so exhausted, I have no resistance, I have a feeling I'm going to have a vision tonight. And I appreciate your offer. I really want to have a vision naturally, not that I'm not curious. I just really want to have total clarity. Vera and I ate our dinner, we went back to the room. I sat a little bit first, and then I did a little bit of Qigong, stretching, a little bit of yoga, and Tai Chi, just anything to just loosen up the body so that I wouldn't wake up in pain from all the walking. And we went to sleep. I started having a very lucid dream, a dream with substance. And I was suddenly back at Spider Rock, and there was a blue-green dragonfly. And there was a beautiful lake and a white horse, and I reached out to touch the dragonfly, and then all of a sudden I was spiraling up this energy spiral up towards Spider Rock, the top of it, and I became an eagle. And then I was sitting in there looking down over the land and admiring how beautiful it was. And then I thought, well, I'm an eagle, I'll fly. So I flew out, and then there was this being on the ground, a human, and an arrow came up and hit me in the heart. And then I was spiraling down, and I'm like, what the heck? It was part of me was conscious, what? And then all of a sudden, Eagle Man came, a beautiful man as also eagle, and he came up, swept me into his wings, and I became Eagle Woman, and then we were making love, and then at the point of orgasm, it was like this shaft of light went through us, and I became all the stars and planets, and I was out in the universe, and it was just unbelievably peaceful. Everything was just vibrating peace and love. It was the most beautiful energy I'd ever felt. And then after a while, I said, is this it? Is this what it is? And then as I said that and had that thought, I became an eagle again. And then I was flying around the earth, and then I flew back into my body. The next thing, I heard Vera sneeze. And so I look over across the room, and I gently said, Vera? And she goes, yeah. And I said, is it okay if I turn on a light? I really need to write this vision, this dream down. And she said, sure, I wanted to turn on the light anyway, because I was down in the earth having a conference with the animal people, and it was such a beautiful dream. I wanted to write my dream down. So we wrote our dream, and then the next day we were supposed to leave for Chaco Canyon. But I told Vera, I said, I'm just so full of bliss and joy, it's like I'm drunk. I can't drive. Vera said, well, I can't drive either. So I said, well, let's see if we can get a room for another night here, stay in this energy. We can go hiking, and then we'll head home. We can go to Chaco Canyon another time, because we thought we were going to have some visions in Chaco Canyon, and we both were so fulfilled at Canyon de-Chelly. So what I really want to share with you is to have the vision naturally. It's good to tune into nature with your whole heart and soul. Love every piece of nature. Tune into her vibration. Tune into, if you know any chants that are comfortable for you, chant, 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 and get your vibration totally tuned in. I also teach the Divine Light Invocation. I've done a few YouTubes on those. And you can tune into seeing yourself as the light, even if you feel you must partake of ethnogenics and drugs of some sort. I have heard that some people have a hard time having visions, and they always wanted to have one. There was some famous guy who was spiritual, and I was listening to him, and I felt a little sad that he hadn't been able to tap into vision. So we have to honor each other. But it's good to have intent that is sacred, that is there for all beings, to connect with the greater universe, to connect with your own innate bliss, so that your vision is the most powerful and enlightening, and that it can be for you. That you don't have what's called a bad dream or a bad vision. Divine blessings to you. May you have many happy journeys. Hari Om Tat Sat.